Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Saya bagi pihak majlis mengalu-alukan kehadiran para pelajar, guru-guru dan pegawai-pegawai bahagian pendidikan menengah mara untuk webinar sesi kedua program Skor A Star Chemistry IGCSE 2021. Pada pagi ini, topik yang akan dibincangkan adalah Electricity dan Chemistry serta Chemical Energetics yang dianjurkan oleh unit kimia bahagian pendidikan menengah mara. Sebelum kita meneruskan majlis, suka untuk saya mengumumkan kepada semua pelajar, anda boleh menggunakan ruangan Q&A untuk sebarang pertanyaan mengenai topik webinar pada hari ini. Untuk makluman, sesi ini juga akan direkodkan oleh tim teknikal dan boleh ditonton semula nanti. Link kehadiran akan diberikan pada akhir slot ini nanti. Bagi memulakan majlis pada hari ini, marilah kita bersama-sama membaca Al-Fatihah. Semoga program ini berjalan lancar dan diberkati Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Al-Fatihah. Alhamdulillah, syukur kehadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala dengan limpah dan kurnianya, webinar Skor A Star Chemistry IGCSE 2021 dapat dilaksanakan pada pagi ini. Selamat datang kepada penceramah kita yang berbahagia, Cikgu Fatmawati binti Sazali, guru kanan kimia dari MRSM Kuching. Beliau merupakan seorang guru kimia yang sangat berpengalaman bermula dari tahun beliau berkhidmat iaitu pada tahun 1999 sehingga kini. Tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, majlis dengan segala hormatnya menjemput yang berbahagia Cikgu Fatmawati bagi berkongsi ilmu dengan kita pada pagi ini. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Okey, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okey, terima kasih rakan pengacara majlis. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera diucapkan kepada KPP Kimia kita iaitu Encik Ghazali bin Musa daripada Ibu Pejabat. Rakan-rakan FESI dan anak-anak pelajar yang dikasihi sekalian. Okey, syukur Alhamdulillah kita berpeluang hari ini hadir bersama-sama untuk majlis ilmu pada pagi ini. Semoga mendapat manfaat daripada perkongsian kita nanti. Okey, sebelum tu sama-sama kita buka minda dan hati mengikhlaskan diri supaya lebih berkat ilmunya. Okey, walaupun awak duduk depan laptop dipaksa, tapi kalau boleh cuba ikhlaskan hati supaya ilmu tu lebih senang dapat. Okey, senang masuk. Okey, let me introduce myself. I'm Madam Fatma from MRSM Kuching. So today we will discuss on two topics as you can see on the screen, the electricity and chemistry. Okay, and the second one is chemical energetic. Basically, we have 2 hours. So I will try to go through the whole topic within the first hour and continue with the exercise within the second hour. All right. So we go to the first topic. Okay, the first topic is electricity and chemistry. So this is the overview of this topic. If you take a look at this mind map, we can see the main focus here is the two types of cell, the electrochemical cell and electrolytic cell. Okay. Then the electrolytic cell, we will learn about how the electrolysis process occur in aqueous solution and in molten. Okay, and also we have the application of electrolysis here, how to electroplate the metal and how to extract the metal, and then how to purify, to refine the metal, okay, untuk menulinkan logam. Okay, and then as we go along the topic, we will also learn how to write the ionic equation, half equation. Okay, ionic half equation is actually to show the movement of electron, whether the electron is received or released. And then we also see how the ions and electron move or flow in the internal and external circuit. Okay, so here is the relationship between chemical reaction and electricity. Okay, chemical reaction and electricity. Before we go further, okay, before we discuss further in this topic, I would like to share a few concepts taught in this topic that you must understand. Okay, so this one is the relationship between the chemical reaction and electricity. So in a chemical cell, okay, the chemical reaction, okay, the chemical reaction produce electrical energy. While in electrolytic cell, the electrical energy is used to produce chemical reaction. Okay, the electrical energy is used in a chemical reaction. If there's no electricity, the chemical reaction will not take place. All right. So these are the keywords. I think you are familiar with this keyword: electrolyte, cathode, electrode, anode, okay, and so on. And these are the definition. You can read this one later on. Okay, so this one is shows the basic concept that you should know in the chemical cell and electrolytic cell. Okay, so please remember that what happened in the cell is the ions will be attracted to electrode. Okay, and then what happened at electrode? What happened at electrode? So that's what we want to know in the chemical cell and electrolytic cell. Okay, so if the ion is a negative ion, anion is a negative ion, okay, and cation is a positive ion. Okay, anions will always attracted to anode. Okay, look at the prefix there, N to N. Anions to anode, and then cations will always attracted to cathode. Okay, cat to cat. And then we see what happened at the electrode. So what happened at the electrode is, okay, what happened at the electrode is the process of donating electron. Okay, and then the process that occur at cathode is the process of accepting electron. Okay, so please remember using these two keywords. Okay, oil rig, and then red cat. Okay, so since anode is a process of donating electron, and remember this, oxidation is loss of electron. Okay, oxidation is loss. Means the process that occur, the reaction that occur at anode, since it donate electron, is a process of oxidation. A process of oxidation. And then at cathode, okay, is a process of receiving electron. Okay, process of receiving electron. So reduction is gain. So since cathode receive electron or gain electron, means the reaction that occur at cathode is a process of reduction. Okay, and then red cat is reduction occur at cathode. Reduction always occur at cathode. Okay, cathode is a process of receiving electron. Reduction is gain, and reduction occur at cathode, means cathode receive electron. Okay, and another simple way for you to remember this, okay, look at the word cathode. There is word letter T here. T is for terima, okay, terima electron. So cathode always a process of receiving electron. Okay, so here is another important thing that you need to understand, the difference between molten and aqueous solution. Okay, so the electrolyte must be in a molten or aqueous solution in order to conduct electricity. Okay, because we need the free moving ion. If it is in a solid state, kalau dia dalam bentuk solid, dia tidak ada free moving ion. So we need them in a form of free moving ions so that they can conduct electricity. Okay, if we want the sodium chloride to be in a molten state, what we need to do is to heat it up. Okay, panaskan sodium chloride. Okay, when we heat the sodium chloride solid, it will ionize to form sodium ion, which is the cations, and then another one is anions. So we have one cations. This is a binary compound, so we have one metal ion and one non-metal ion. Okay, so if it is in aqueous solution, so how to make the sodium chloride solid and aqueous solution is by adding water. Okay, tambah air. We add water into sodium chloride solid. So the sodium chloride solution, okay, after you add water, it will become a solution. So sodium chloride solution consists of cations and anions, but now we have two different types of cation and two different types of anions. Okay, for cation, we have the sodium ion and the chloride ion from the compound. And then we have extra hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. We get it from the water molecules. Okay, so this is the difference between molten and aqueous solution. Both molten and aqueous solution are in the form of liquid, dalam bentuk liquid. Tapi the difference is molten have only one cation and one anion. Aqueous solution have two cations and two anions. Alright, so that is the difference between molten and aqueous solution. Okay, and factors that affect the product formed at electrode. There are three factors. The first one is the position of ion in the reactivity series. The second one is the concentration of ion in the electrolytes. And the third one is the types of electrode. So how do they affect the product formed at electrodes? Okay, first one, position of ion in the reactivity series. Okay, so this one is a very basic, basic factor because it affects both anode and cathode. Okay, how do they affect? The ions at lower position in the series will be discharged. Okay, so the lower one will be discharged. If you have two or more different types of ion, then we choose the one, the lowest one in the reactivity series. And then concentration. Concentration of ion in the electrolyte will only affect the anodes. Okay, dia hanya mempengaruhi produk dekat anode sahaja. Okay, and then how? Macam mana dia affect? The halide ion with higher concentration will be discharged. So we focus on the halide ion solution. If the concentration is higher, then the ion will be discharged. Okay, and then the types of electrode. There are two types of electrode, inert and active electrode. Okay, so inert electron are carbon and platinum. Okay, carbon and platinum are inert electrode. Active electrode are metals atom. Okay, metals atom. Okay, how do they affect? They only affect anode, hanya mempengaruhi anode. Okay, so the active electrode, if we use the active electrode at anode, so the electrode itself will release electron to form the metal ion. Okay, So it will release electron to form metal ions. Alright, so next. So this is the reactivity series of metal. So I hope you hafal the series already, because this is not the first time you look at this series. You learn this in the reactivity series of metal from the previous topic. So this one is very important as it can affect the product formed at electrodes. Okay, so you can use mnemonic to remember the series. We have the positive ion and the negative ion. Okay, we have the positive ion and negative ion here. Okay, so to remember the series, maybe you can use the mnemonic. So I have a series of mnemonic, and one of it is this one. Okay, you can use this one, or maybe you can create your own. Okay, kalau nak cari macam-macam alasan ziarah Fatma, senang pergi hantar cucu atuk. Okay, so you can use your own, or maybe you can replace my name with your friend's name, or maybe you can replace with my student's name, Feliciana, Ferdinand, Firdaus ke, Farhan ke, Fahim ke, Fernanda ke. These are all my students' name. Alright. Okay, and for the negative ions, we have fluoride ion, sulfate ion, nitrate ion, chloride ion, bromide ion, iodide, and hydroxide. Okay, so to remember the sequence, you need to use the mnemonic. It's easier for you to remember. Mine is Fatma suka nasi campur berlauk ikan. Awesome. Okay, so you can use this mnemonic or you can use your own lah. Okay, so how the reactivity series affect? The lower the position, the easier for the ion to be discharged. Okay, maksudnya yang paling bawah, yang paling mudah untuk discharge. Ease of discharge increases as it goes down the series. Okay, so what is discharge? What is discharge? Discharge mean buang. This is nyah, nyah charge, buang charge. So process that occur when ions loses their charges. Okay, lose their charge bukan lose electron. Itu yang selalu student keliru. Okay, lose charge bukan semestinya lose electron. Okay, for example, okay, if you have the copper ion, copper ion is a positively charged ion. Okay, so we have the charge here. Copper ion ada charge. So how to get rid of the charge? To become copper atom, which is neutral. So to get rid of the charge, what the copper ion do is to receive electron. Okay, it need to receive electron. So positive ion, when it receive electron, it will become copper atom. Okay, become an atom. Alright. Why it become copper atom? Because these two proton is neutralized by these two electron. But in the half ionic equation, you cannot write it this way. You must write in full. Copper 2 plus, jangan potong-potong, maksud cikgu. 2 electron to form copper metal. And another thing is to write the half equation, the ionic half equation. If it is a process of receiving electron, the electron need to be written before the arrow, sebelum arrow. Okay. And then for the negative ion, okay, to be discharged, what they need to do is, for example, chloride ion. Chloride ion got negative charge, -1. So to get rid of the charge, what chloride ion need to do is to release electron. Okay, buang electron to become the chlorine atom. Okay, negative ion release electron to become an atom, which then form a molecule. Because chlorine atom cannot be in the form of monoatom. Okay, it is a diatomic molecule. So chlorine 2 moles. So we need 2 chloride ion to release 2 electron. Okay, 2 electron to form chlorine gas. Okay, so now from the negative ion yang ada charge, sekarang dia dah jadi neutral, no more charge. This is a process of discharge. And then to write the half equation, if it is a process of releasing electron, the electron released must be written after the arrow. Ingat kalau dia receive electron before the arrow. Kalau dia release electron, electron must be written after the arrow to show the electron is released. Because ionic half equation is to show the movement of electron, whether the electron is received or released. Alright, chemical cell. So we go to the first type of cell in this chapter. Okay, chemical cell is the cell, the chemical reaction that produce electrical energy. Alright. And this is the flow of electron in a chemical cell. Okay, it flows from anode to cathode. Okay, it flows from anode to cathode. Okay, anode release electron, cathode receive electron. Okay, anode release electron and cathode receive electron. Alright, and remember the oil rig. Okay, anode is always a process of oxidation because oil oxidation is loss. Okay, loss of electron. Since anode release electron, since they lost electron, it is a process of oxidation. Okay, and at cathode, since cathode receive electron, so means it is a process of reduction. Oil rig. Reduction is gain of electron. Okay, reduction is gain of electron. Okay, and of course the current move or flow, vice versa. And another one is the anode in the chemical cell is the negative terminal. Okay, anode is a negative terminal for the chemical cell. Cathode is a positive terminal. Right? The electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is a source of electrical energy. Sumber tenaga elektrik. Okay, dia menghasilkan daripada bahan kimia, menghasilkan tenaga elektrik. Okay, the simplest design consists of two electrode. Okay, dua electrode immersed in an electrolyte. Okay, dua electrode immersed in an electrolyte and connected to the external circuit. So this is the external circuit. Yang luar ni adalah external circuit. Di dalam electrolyte adalah internal circuit. So what flows at the external circuit adalah electrons. Okay, and please remember for the electrochemical cell, the two electrode used must have different reactivity. Okay, must have different reactivity because different reactivity have different ability to release electrons. Okay, different ability to release electron. Kalau ada perubahan reactivity, barulah ada different ability to release electron, barulah voltage dihasilkan. If you use the same type of electrode at both cathode and anode, no electron flows occur. Okay, elektron tidak akan boleh bergerak kalau kita gunakan electrode types of electrode yang sama. And the greater the difference in the metal's reactivity, the greater the voltage. Okay, semakin beza reactivity dia, for example magnesium, we have aluminium, zinc, lead, copper, silver. Okay, so for example, this is the position. Okay, if you pair zinc and copper, the voltage reading will be smaller compared to if you pair the copper electrode with magnesium. Okay, so the greater the difference in metal reactivity, the greater the voltage value. All right. So this is the simple chemical cell. Okay. So the cell must have electrode. Okay, basically must have the electrode. Must have the electrode. Okay, and then you must have the electrolyte, and then must have the external, the wire for the external circuit. Okay, to connect both electrode. Okay, dua-dua electrode must be connected, barulah circuit tu lengkap. Okay, and then the electron move at the external circuit. This is external circuit. And the electrolyte is the internal circuit. So what move in the internal circuit adalah ions. Okay, ions. Electron move at the external circuit. So mesti ada external circuit dan pergerakan ions di dalam internal circuit barulah dia complete semua. Alright. Okay, and electrode adalah tempat di mana elektron keluar dan masuk. Okay, and please remember that electron cannot swim in the electrolyte. Okay, electron cannot move in the electrolyte. Okay, sebab tu dia perlukan pertolongan ions. Okay, to complete the circuit. Okay, on the right side, this is the steps. Okay, step for you to understand the process that occur in a chemical cell and electrolytic cell. Okay, so please remember the 6 step. Okay, if you use this step to understand the concept, I'm sure after this topic will be your favorite topic. Okay, so first is to identify the electrode. Okay, first is to identify the electrode, which one is cathode, which one is anode. And then the second one is to identify the flows of electron. Okay, identify the flows of electron and then identify the ions in the electrolyte. Okay, so that is the third step. Okay, the flows of electron is from anode to cathode. And then identify the ions in the electrolyte. Pastikan apa cation, apa anion. And then identify what ion attracted to anode, what ion attracted to cathode. And then yang kelima, identify the reaction that occur at anode and cathode. Dah dia arrive at the electrode, what happened then? And then, after you know what happened at the electrode, write the half ionic equation. Okay, the ionic half equation will show us what should be observed and the product formed from the reaction. Okay, so please remember the 6 steps. Okay, let's start this one. Okay, let's try this one. This is a chemical cell. Okay, so we have basically we have the electrode, we have the electrolyte, and we have the wire. So it's a simple chemical cell. Okay, so we are given magnesium and copper as electrode. Okay, so from these 2 different types of metal, we can determine which one is anode, which one is cathode. Okay, so as we know, magnesium is higher in the reactivity series compared to copper. Okay, so the higher the position of ion in the reactivity series, the higher the ability of the ion of the metal atom to release electron. Okay, so magnesium berada di atas, copper berada di bawah. Okay, so magnesium kedudukan dia lebih tinggi. So dia lebih mudah untuk menderma elektron. Awak ingat dia macam orang kaya lah, lagi atas lagi kaya. Lagi kaya lagi senang untuk menderma. Okay, magnesium lebih kaya daripada copper, so magnesium can donate electron easier compared to copper atom. Alright, so the one that can has higher ability to release electron or to donate electron will be the anode. Okay, will be the anode of the electrolytic of the chemical cell. Sorry. Okay, so anode is a negative terminal, and the one that receive electron is the positive terminal in the in the chemical cell, and the cathode is the positive terminal. Alright, so now we identify the cathode is copper atom, copper plate, and the anode is magnesium ribbon. Okay, the magnesium metal. Okay, we are done with the first step. Second step is to draw the flows of electron, and we know it flows from anode to cathode. Okay, done already. And then the third step is to identify what ion present in the electrolyte. So what we have here is copper chloride solution. Okay, so I introduced to you just now the difference between molten and aqueous solution. This one is a solution. So we have the copper ion and chloride ion, and we also have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion because it is a solution. So we have the copper ion and hydrogen ion as cation. copper ion and hydrogen ion. And then we have chloride ion and hydroxide ion as anions. And then after you identify the ions present in the electrolyte, identify which ion attracted to cathode, which ion attracted to anode. Okay, so now we know that cation attracted to cathode. So we write the formula of copper ion and hydrogen ion, which are attracted to cathode. And chloride ion and hydroxide ion attracted to anode because they are anions. Okay, anions attracted to anode. Okay, then identify what is the process that occur at anode and cathode. Okay, after the ion arrive at the cathode, what happened then? Okay, so the process that occur at cathode is a process of receiving electron, and anode is a process of releasing electron. So let's start from anode because anode is the one that initiate the flows of electron and ions. Okay, the first one that we release electron is the anode. So we have hydroxide ion and chloride ion here, okay? And we also have magnesium ribbon as electrode. So in this case, none of the anion, okay, dua-dua anion ni, hydroxide and chloride, will not be discharged. Why? Because the electrode used here is an active metal. Okay, remember, active metal will affect the anode. Okay, so magnesium is an anode. So what happened is the active metal itself will release electron. Okay, so magnesium metal release electron to form magnesium ion. Okay, magnesium metal release electron to form magnesium ion. Okay, dia keluar menjadi it release magnesium ion. Okay, every time magnesium atom release electron out, it will form magnesium ion, which will be in the electrolyte. Okay, so magnesium is a solid, something yang kita boleh nampak. Lepas tu dia hilang dalam solution, jadi kita tak nampak. What happen is the electrode become thinner. Okay, the electrode of magnesium become thinner. And then what happened at cathode is a process of receiving electron. Okay, cathode is a process of receiving electron. So what receive electron at cathode is always the ion that is lower in the reactivity series. Okay, remember, the types of electrode will only affect the anode. Okay, so cathode will always choose the one lower. So copper is lower than hydrogen in the reactivity series. So copper ion take part here. So what happened to the copper ion? The process of receiving electron. Okay, cathode is receive electron. So kalau receive electron, the electron need to be written before the arrow. So what happened once the metal ion receive electron? It will become atom. Neutral atom. Okay, so what can be seen here is you can see the brown solid deposited here and the copper plate become thicker. Jadi semakin tebal. Okay, so that is the process occur in this chemical cell. Okay, so by using the 6 step. Alright, so now we are done with the chemical cell. Kita sekarang pergi kepada electrolytic cell. Alright. So what is electrolysis? Electrolysis is the process that occur in the electrolytic cell. So what is it? It is a process whereby a compound, okay, decompose into its constituent element when the electricity pass through it. Okay, so the condition needed here is it has to be in molten and aqueous solution states. Okay, otherwise the compound will not be decomposed even if you pass the electricity through them. Okay, so it need to be in molten and aqueous solution because we need the free moving ion to conduct the electricity. Okay, all right. So maksudnya electrolysis adalah proses pecah, okay, proses pemisahan, decompose, terurai. Okay, electro menggunakan kuasa elektrik, lysis mean pecah. Alright. And this is the flow of electron. Okay, for the process of electrolysis, it's from anode to cathode. Okay, again, it's from anode to cathode, but this time it's from positive terminal to the negative terminal, because in electrolytic cell, the positive terminal is known as anode. The negative terminal is known as cathode. Okay, so that is the flows of electron from anode to cathode. And always, the process that occur at anode is always a process of oxidation where the electron is released. And at cathode is always a process of reduction because the electron is received. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this electrolytic cell. Okay. Okay, so we have the battery here, we have the external circuit, the wires that connect the two electrodes, we have the electrode and we have the electrolyte. Okay, so from the battery, okay, we can determine the cathode and anode. The longer one is the positive terminal, okay, the positive electrode, and the shorter one is the negative electrode. So this one is a positive terminal of the electrolytic cell, which is known as anode. Okay, anode. Dalam chemical cell tadi, anode is negative terminal, but this one is a positive terminal known as anode. Dia terbalik Okay, but the process occur at anode is the same, where the electron is released. Okay, electron release. And then at cathode, okay, it is a negative terminal for electrolytic cell. The electron is received at cathode. Okay, the electron is received at cathode. And then I want you to look at the battery here. Actually, battery is a chemical cell. Bateri sebenarnya merupakan chemical cell. Right? So this chemical cell is used for the process of electrolysis. Kita perlukan power supply untuk proses electrolysis berlaku. Okay, and the whole cell is known as electrolytic cell. Okay, the battery is just used to produce the chemical reaction. Okay, and since battery is a chemical cell, okay, look at the negative terminal. So the negative terminal of the negative terminal of the chemical cell is known as anode. Okay, betul? Tengok balik chemical cell tadi. Negative terminal dia ialah anode and positive terminal dia ialah cathode. Okay, so anode of the battery is negative terminal. Anode of the electrolytic cell is a positive terminal. Alright, so the flows of electron in the chemical cell is from anode to cathode. Okay, so it's from the anode of the chemical cell to the cathode. And for the electrolytic cell, it's from anode to cathode juga. Look at the arrow, from the anode to cathode. Alright, so that is the flows of electron. Okay, the flows of electron. Next, and again, you can also use this 6 step, okay, 6 step ni for the electrolytic process. Identify the types the electrode, cathode and anode. But in electrolytic cell, to determine which one is cathode, which one is anode is by looking at the symbol of the battery. Okay, the longer one is positive, which is anode, and the shorter one is negative, which is cathode. And then the flows of electron is from anode to cathode, and then identify the ions, and then what ion attracted to anode, what ion attracted to cathode, and then after they arrive at the anode and cathode, what happened to them? What reaction occur? And then write the half equation. Okay, so please remember the 6 step. Okay, now this is the setup of apparatus for the process of electrolytic. For the process of electrolysis in the electrolytic cell. Okay, so basically we have the electrolyte, we have the electrode, and we have the external circuit, We have the wire here, okay, to connect the two electrode, and the most important thing is you must have the power supply. Mesti ada power supply dalam electrolytic cell, okay, because we need the power supply to produce chemical energy. Alright, so kita nak fokus di sini ialah what ion move to the electrode and then what happened at the electrode. Okay, and then normally for the electrolytic cell we use graphite. Graphite is carbon, carbon and platinum as electrode because they are inert. Inert mean dia tak involve dalam reaction. Okay, dia tak akan mengganggu reaction dekat electrode. Alright, next. This one is another setup of apparatus for the electrolytic cell. It's the same thing. The process that occur at anode and cathode adalah sama. It's just that this type of apparatus is used if you have the intention to collect the gas produced. Okay, kalau kita ada intention nak collect gas produced, then we need to use this setup of apparatus. Alright, and this is what happened in the electrolyte. Okay, and these are ions in the electrolyte. Okay, the positive ion and the negative ion. The negative ion is N ions. Okay, and the positive ion are named as cations. So you can see there N ions attracted to anode, cations attracted to cathode. Right? Okay. These are the list of electrolysis that you must know in this topic, but we are not going to go into details every electrolysis here. We will discuss number 1, number 3, okay, and then number 6, so that you can see how the 3 factor affect the result of the product at anode and cathode. All right. Okay, the first one is the electrolysis of the molten compound. Okay, molten compound. Oops. Okay, the molten compound of lead bromide. Okay, so to make lead bromide a molten, we need to heat them up. Okay, panaskan. Kita panaskan. Lepas tu, what happened to the lead bromide is they will ionize to form the lead ion and the bromide ion. Okay, the lead ion and the bromide ion. Okay, so and we know that lead ion is cation and bromide ion is an anion. Okay, so once we switch on the battery, okay, so this is anode, this one is anode, this one is cathode. Positive terminal, this is negative terminal, and the flows of electron is from anode to cathode. Alright, so cation, the lead ion will be attracted to cathode and bromide ion will be attracted to anode. So what happened at anode is a process of releasing electron. Okay, anode release electron. What release electron at anode is bromide ion. Okay, since you only have bromide ion there. Okay, bromide ion release electron to form bromine gas. Okay, bromide ion release electron to form bromine gas, and then what happened at cathode is the cations, which is the lead ion. Okay, and we know the process that occur at cathode is receiving electron. Okay, electron masuk ke cathode. So the lead ion receive electron to form the lead atom. Okay, so the lead atom form at the cathode. Nanti kita akan nampak ada grey solid deposited around the carbon electrode at cathode. And at anode, you can see the brown gas produced. That brown gas is the bromine gas. Alright, so this is the first example of electrolysis, which is the molten lead bromide. Okay, this is the second one. We are not going to discuss about this one. You can do this one later and write your answer here by the help of the diagram. Okay, next is the electrolysis of concentrated sodium chloride solution. Okay, sodium chloride now it is in a form of solution. Okay, so sodium chloride solution consists of sodium ion, chloride ion. We have also hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion derived from water molecules. Right? So we have the sodium ion and hydrogen ion attracted to cathode. This is anode and this one is cathode. Alright, electron out, electron in at cathode. Okay, at cathode we have sodium ion and hydrogen ion. Okay, at anode we have chloride ion and hydroxide ion. Okay, so in this case, the second factor, which is the concentration, will take part. Okay, so at anode, okay, the one that release electron is the chloride ion. Why chloride ion? Because it is a concentrated solution and sodium chloride is halide solution. Okay, ingat balik tadi the factor kata kalau dia halide solution dan concentrated, that ion will be discharged at anode. So the chloride ion, okay, release electron. Kalau release terus tulis arrow. Okay, terus tulis arrow. And then once the chloride ion release electron, it will form the chlorine atom. Okay. Chloride ion release electron to form chlorine atom, which then form a molecule. So 2 mole of chloride ion release 2 electron. Okay, 2 electrons, sorry. Okay, so next is at cathode. What happened at cathode is a process of receiving electron. And again, cathode will not be affected by concentration. Okay, so the only factor that affect the cathode is only the position of ion in the reactivity series. Okay, so between sodium and hydrogen, the one lower in the reactivity series is hydrogen. So the process that occurs at cathode is always a process of receiving electron. So what happened is the hydrogen ion receive electron to form hydrogen gas. Okay, because hydrogen cannot be in the form of monoatom, so it will form molecules of hydrogen. So 2 mole of hydrogen ion receive 2 electron. 2 electron. Okay. Alright, so that's what happened at cathode and anode. Okay, so hydrogen ion receive 2 electron. Okay, and the product at anode is chlorine gas. Okay, chlorine gas, and the product at cathode is hydrogen gas. Okay, so chloride ion discharge at anode and hydrogen ion discharge at cathode. Okay, and then what left in the electrolyte are sodium ion and hydroxide ion. Okay, so these two ions will combine together. The sodium ion and hydroxide ion will form sodium hydroxide solution, which is alkaline. Okay, if you put the litmus paper in, the red litmus paper will turn blue. Alright, so this is the example of electrolysis of a concentrated halide solution. Okay, so it will affect the anode where the the halide ion will be discharged. Okay, because of the concentration factor. Okay, so we are done with the second example. This one is sulfuric acid. Okay. Okay, now this one is the electrolysis of copper sulfate. Copper sulfate. Okay, first I will explain if we use the carbon as electrode, carbon as inert. Okay, after this we will introduce the second types of electrode, which is active electrode. If we use copper as electrode. Okay, now first we switch on the battery. Okay, and then we identify anode and cathode. And the flows of electron is from anode to cathode. Alright, identify the ion present in copper sulfate solution. So we have the copper ion and the sulfate ion. And since it is a solution, we also have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. And we know that cations are attracted to cathode and ions are attracted to anode. Okay, so copper ion and hydrogen ion attracted to cathode, and we have sulfate ion and hydroxide ion attracted to anode. Okay, so we see what happened at anode and cathode. All right, look at the diagram. Okay, so by looking at the diagram, you know what ion attracted to anode and cathode. After they arrive at the anode and cathode, what happened is at anode, okay, it is a process of releasing electron. So what release electron at anode is it hydroxide ion or the sulfate ion? Okay, so the one that release electron will be the one lower because there's no factor of concentration and there's no factor of electrode here. So the only factor that affect is the position in the reactivity series. So hydroxide will be the one that release electron. Okay, why hydroxide? Because hydroxide is lower. Oops. Okay. Why hydroxide? Because hydroxide is lower. Okay, so hydroxide ion release electron. Kalau release electron, straight away draw the arrow. Barulah tulis electron. Hydroxide ion release electron. Okay, what is the product? The product are water molecules and oxygen gas. Okay. So once a hydroxide ion release electron, it will form water and oxygen gas. Okay, and then we balance the equation. Okay, so we have 3 oxygen on the right side. Okay, we put 2 here to make it 4. So 4 hydrogen and 4 oxygen. Okay, 4 hydroxide mean it release 4 electron. Okay. So this is the process that occur at anode, the process of oxidation. And then at cathode, what happened at cathode is the process of receiving electron. So at cathode, we have copper ion and hydrogen ion. So you choose the one lower. The one lower is the copper ion. Okay, so copper ion receive electron because it is at cathode. Copper ion receive electron to form copper metal. This is a process of discharge. Okay, so hydroxide ion discharge at anode, copper ion discharge at cathode. Right? So you can see the observation will be the graphite or the carbon will be coated with carbon electrode. Copper. Okay. Dia akan diselaputi oleh copper atom at cathode. And at anode, what can be seen is the bubbles of gas. Bubbles of colorless gas, which is oxygen, produced at anode. And then we look at another example of the same electrolyte, copper sulfate, but now using copper as electrode. Okay, tadi kita guna carbon, sekarang kita guna copper. Copper is an active electrode. Okay, so kita tengok sama tak hasil dia. First is to switch on the battery, and then this is anode, and of course this one is cathode. And this is the flows of electron. And in the electrolyte, we still have the same ion. Cathode tadi ada copper ion and hydrogen ion. At anode, we have sulfate ion and hydroxide ion. Alright. Okay, now the thing is, what happened at cathode is the same. It will choose the one lower. Okay, because the factor of types of electrode will not affect cathode. It will only affect anodes. Okay, so we have the hydroxide ion and the sulfate ion but none of them will be discharged. The one that will release electron at anode is the copper metal. Okay, so look at this diagram. Copper release electron. Okay, at anode, copper is the one that release electron. Sulfate dengan hydroxide will stay in the solution. Okay, dia tidak akan di-discharge. The one that release electron at anode is the copper metal. Okay, copper metal release electron, arrow. Okay, release electron to form copper ion. Okay, to form copper ion. Copper 2. So, it's 2 positive. So, how many electron release? 2 electron release. Okay, copper metal release electron to form copper ion. If you look at the diagram, you can see the copper atom becomes thinner. Okay, why it become thinner? Because it release copper ion out. Okay, daripada benda yang kita nampak, dia jadi benda yang kita tak nampak, iaitu copper ion. But the color of copper ion is blue. And then what happened at cathode is a process of receiving electron. And again, cathode will not be affected by the factor of electrode. Okay, the types of electrode. So what happened is the copper ion, which is lower than hydrogen, will be discharged. Copper ion receive electron to form copper metal. Okay, so what can be observed at the cathode is you can see the brown solid deposited here and the copper plate become thicker. Okay, jadi makin tebal sebab copper atom terbentuk. Alright, next we differentiate the product form at anode when we use carbon electrode and copper electrode. Carbon is inert electrode, copper is an active electrode. Okay, so once we use the carbon electrode, which is inert, it will not take part in the reaction. So what happened is the hydroxide ion, which is lower than sulfate ion, will release electron to form oxygen gas and water molecule. So the product is oxygen gas and water molecule. So the main product is oxygen lah. And if we use copper as electrode, which is an active electrode, what happened is the copper itself will release electron. But the process that occur at anode is always a process of releasing electron. Tengok electron ditulis selepas arrow. Maksudnya electron is release. So copper metal release electron to form copper ion. So the product formed at anode is copper ion. Okay, if we use copper electrode. If we use carbon electrode, then the product is oxygen gas. But at anode, okay, the factor that affect cathode is always a factor of position. So dia akan pilih the one lower, copper ion. That's why the product formed at cathode is the same. Okay, alright. So that's the difference. That's how the concentration and the position and the types of electrode affect the product formed at anode and cathode. Okay, now we look at the application of electrolysis. Okay, the application of electrolysis, the first one is electroplating of metals. Okay, so electroplating of metal is a method of coating object with metal. Okay, membalut objek lain dengan metal. Okay, untuk mencantikkan metal tersebut. In this case, in the example given here, is to electroplating iron spoon with silver metal. Kita nak electroplatekan iron spoon dengan silver metal supaya lebih cantik, lebih berkilau. Okay. And then, so what we need to do is to put the object to be electroplated at cathode. Objek yang kita nak electroplate ni, we put it at cathode. Okay. And then anode is the coating metal. Okay. Metal yang kita nak jadi pembalut di luar je akan jadi anode. And in the electrolyte, you must have the ion of the coating metal. Mesti ada ion. Electrolyte yang awak guna must have the ion which is the same as the coating metal. Tadi kita kata kita nak coat dia dengan silver metal. So kita mestilah cari ion yang ada silver ion di dalam electrolyte. Okay. Alright. So what happened is the metal ion deposited at the cathode. Okay. So silver atom, okay, release electron. Okay, because silver is an active metal. Okay, active electrode. So the silver itself will release electron to form the silver ion. Okay, silver ion akan keluar daripada anode. And then at cathode, the silver ion in the solution, okay, that's why we need the silver ion in the solution. Okay, silver ion receive electron, okay, receive electron to form silver metal. So you can see the silver spoon, the iron spoon will be coated with the silver metal. Okay, and for the process of electroplating, normally we use rheostat. Okay, supaya elektrik yang lalu tu adalah perlahan, sikit. And then the object that we electroplate need to be rotate. Okay, we need to rotate. Need to be rotated sebab kita nak coating tu berlaku dengan event sekata. Okay, so that is how the electrolysis process is applied in the electroplating of metals to make the metal last longer and look more beautiful. Alright, this is a process of extraction. Normally, we use the process of electrolysis to extract metal just for the metal above carbon in the reactivity series. For metal lower than carbon, we can use the carbon in the blast furnace, the reaction with carbon in the blast furnace, which is much cheaper compared to electrolysis. Alright, so we have the anode here, okay, the electrode connected to anode, and the inner lining of the tank is connected to the cathode. So the positive ion, which is the aluminium ion, will be attracted to cathode, and the negative ion, the oxide ion, will be attracted to anode. Okay, sama juga prinsip dia. Anion to anode, cation to cathode. And the process occur at anode is releasing electron. So oxide ion release electron to form oxygen gas. Okay, if you can see the bubbles of gas, there is oxygen gas. And then at cathode is a process of receiving electron. So the aluminium ion receive electron to form aluminium metal. Okay, in the inner wall of the tank, the aluminium will settle to the bottom of the tank and will be collected here. Alright. So this is the concept of electrolysis used to extract the metal. Okay, and then for your information, this oxygen produced, okay, can react with the carbon electrode to form carbon dioxide. Oxygen can react with the carbon to form carbon dioxide, which will then be released to the surrounding. So that's why the carbon electrode need to be replaced from time to time, because dia akan jadi makin nipis because it react with the oxygen, the product. And the third application here is the purification of metal. Okay, sama juga konsep dia. We have the copper ion, the sulfate ion, hydrogen ion, and hydroxide ion in the electrolyte. This is the anode and this is the cathode. So what attract to anode adalah sulfate ion and hydroxide ion. And what attract to cathode are copper ion and hydrogen ion. So at anode is a process of releasing electron. So since we use the impure metal here, okay, this is a process of purification to purify the impure metal to become a pure metal at cathode. So cathode is our main product. Impure metal is put or set as anode. Diletakkan pada anode. Okay. So the impure metal release electron at anode to form copper ion. Okay, copper ion akan dirilis keluar dalam electrolyte. And at cathode, we have the hydrogen ion and the copper ion. Okay, so copper ion, which is lower than hydrogen, we receive the electron. Okay, copper ion receive electron to form copper metal at cathode. So the impure metal pada anode tadi telah dikumpulkan di cathode. Okay, and impurities akan settle to the bottom, to the base of the beaker. Okay, impurities tu akan dibuang lah. Alright, so now from the impure metal, we get the pure metal at cathode. So the product is collected at cathode. Alright, so we are done with the first topic. So now we go to the second topic. I need to go faster, I think. Chemical energetic. The second topic is chemical energetic. So there are two topics in this chapter: energetic of reaction and energy transfer. So we learn about the exotomic reaction, endothermic, energy level diagram, energy of reaction, and then the burning of fuels for the energy transfer and radioactive isotopes and fuel cell. Okay, so energy reaction involve calculation. So all chemical reaction involve energy changes. Kalau ada je chemical reaction mean ada perubahan tenaga. And the name of the study that study the changes in heat energy in the chemical reaction is named as thermochemistry. There are two types of energy changes: exothermic or endothermic. Okay, exo means release heat to surrounding. Endo means receive or absorb heat from surrounding. So exothermic reaction, okay, is a process of releasing heat to surrounding, give out heat to surrounding. Okay, so ingat perkataan the first two letter ni, exit, okay, keluarkan haba, okay, exit. Exothermic reaction, let's say for example you have a container with reacting particles. If the reacting particles release heat to the surrounding, it is a process of exothermic reaction. And so what happened to the surrounding temperature? Surrounding temperature will increases. And what happened to the container? The container become hot. Alright. And the next one is endothermic reaction. Enter. Okay. So the energy enter the reacting particles. So the chemical reaction that takes in or absorb heat from surrounding. Okay. So let's say for example you have the container. These are the reacting particles. Endo means absorb heat from surrounding. Diserap tenaga daripada luar. Okay, absorb heat from surrounding. So what happened to the surrounding temperature is decrease. Suhu persekitaran akan menurun sebab dah diabsorb oleh reacting particles. And then what happened to the container? It is become cold. Okay, usually a chemical reaction involve bond breaking and bond formation. Okay, in a chemical reaction, dalam satu chemical reaction boleh involve bond breaking and bond formation. Okay, let's say for example, we have magnesium react with copper chloride solution, okay, to form magnesium chloride and copper atom. So in one chemical reaction ni involve both bond breaking and bond formation. Means both exothermic and endothermic occur. Okay. So in order for the formation of magnesium chloride, this is the bond formation between magnesium and chlorine. To form the magnesium chloride is the process of release heat to surrounding. Okay. And in order to make the magnesium chloride, okay, we need to break the bond between copper and chloride first. This is the bond breaking. So they receive or absorb heat from surrounding. So in a chemical reaction, the bond breaking always occur at the reactants, to the reactants, and the bond formation occur to the product. Okay, the bond breaking always requires energy, whereas bond formation always release energy. Okay. Okay, exo is when the energy release is greater. Okay, is more. Because in one chemical reaction, they are energy release and energy absorbed at the same time. So we look at which one is higher. So if the energy release is higher, then the name of the reaction is exothermic reaction. If the energy absorbed is higher or greater, then the reaction is named as endothermic reaction. Okay, and the sign for the exothermic reaction is negative. Okay, for endothermic is positive, because they absorb heat from surrounding, more energy in the product. Okay, next is energy level diagram. Energy level diagram is to represent the energy change in a chemical reaction. Okay, so delta H represent the heat of reaction, iaitu the heat energy change in 1 mole. Okay, delta H is equal to the difference between the energy contained of the product and reactants. Okay, so this is the step to construct energy level diagram. So first is to identify whether it is exo or endothermic reaction, and then draw the energy of axis. Energy axis is on the y-axis. Lukiskan one straight line up and then arrow, and then label energy here. Next is to draw the energy level of the reactants and product. So this is the energy level of the reactants, and the product depends whether it is exo or endo. If let's say, for example, it is an exothermic reaction, then the level of the product is lower. Okay. After that, we draw the arrow from the reactants to the product. And then write the chemical equation. You can also write the ionic equation. Magnesium react with copper chloride to form magnesium chloride and copper. And then last one is to write the delta H. Okay, delta H equals to the positive or negative. So for this one is obviously negative because the product is lower. The energy content in the product is lower because it releases heat more than absorbing heat, and the value and the unit is kilojoule per mole. Okay, so this is the energy level diagram. So to remember the 6th step, use this mnemonic: I enjoy eating ice cream happy. Alright. Okay, next. This is the contoh, okay, the example of energy level diagram for exothermic reaction. Why I said exo? Because the energy in the product is lower than the energy in the reactants. Okay, and the sign is negative. And this one is endothermic reaction. Okay, so because the energy in the product is higher than in the reactants. Okay, and the sign is positive, because the energy in the product is higher. This one is reaction profile, okay, to show the relative energy of reactant and product, and then to show the activation energy, and to show the overall energy change, okay, overall energy change from the reactants to the product. All right. So what is activation energy? Activation energy is the energy needed, the minimum energy needed for the reaction to start to produce a product. Okay, setiap reaction mempunyai activation energy dia sendiri. Okay, every reaction have their own activation energy, the minimum energy needed. Okay, macam barang lah. Setiap barang ada harga dia sendiri. So setiap reaction ada activation energy dia sendiri. Kalau dah capai the minimum amount of that activation energy, then it will proceed to produce product. Okay, for the first diagram here, the energy absorbed is more compared to the energy release. So that's why it is named as endothermic reaction. And for the second diagram, the energy absorbed, okay, the energy absorbed is less compared to the energy release. Energy release dia lebih banyak. So it is an exothermic reaction. Alright. So this one is the most interesting part, calculation. So energy of reaction using bond energies. So how to do it first is to add together all the energies in the reactants. Energy in the reactants is for the bond breaking. Kita kena break all the bonds dulu to form a new bonds. Bond breaking. And then in the product is the bond formation. Okay, bond formation. So the energy in is for the bond breaking. Energy out ialah yang dikeluarkan for the bond formation. And to calculate the energy change in the reaction is energy change equal to energy in minus energy out. Okay, if the energy out is more, then it is an exothermic reaction. Okay, if the energy in is more, it is an endothermic reaction. Okay, let's look at this example. Okay, we have A react with 3 molecules of B2 to produce AB3. Okay, so A react with 3 molecules of B. Okay, 3 molecules of B to produce 2 molecules of AB3. AB3. Okay, 2 molecules of AB3. So, you are asked to calculate the energy change. So, by using this formula, okay, energy in minus energy out. So, we calculate all the energy in first. Energy in means the energy in the reactants. Okay, ni adalah energy in. And energy in product adalah energy out. Okay, so in the reactants, for A, there's no bond, so it's equal to 0. And then for BB bonds, 1 BB bonds is equals to 30. It's given there. So we have 3. So times by 3, we have the total of 90 kilojoule per mole. That is the energy in. Okay. And then for the energy in the product, which is the energy out, okay, we have 2 molecules of AB3. And in 1 molecule of AB3, we have 1, 2, 3 AB bond. Okay, so 3 times 73 times by 2 because we have 2 molecules of AB3. And we get 438 kilojoule per mole of the energy out. Okay, the energy release ialah 438. And then by using the formula, energy in minus energy out is equals to negative 348 kilojoule per mole. So since it is negative, so it is an exothermic reaction. The energy release is more compared to the energy absorbed. Okay, so that is how we calculate the energy change by using the energy bonds. Okay, here is another example. Okay, so sulfur react with fluorine to produce sulfur tetrafluoride. Okay, so we have S, no bonds in F, and we have 2 F2 molecules, and then we have 1 sulfur tetrafluoride. Okay, so reactants are energy in. Product are energy out. Alright, so it is given that the energy change is equals to 780 kilojoule. And the bond energy in FF is equal to 160 kilojoule per mole. So you are asked to determine the bond energy in SF bond. In each, maksudnya satu. Alright, by using the formula, okay, just exchange the energy change with the energy out because we need to calculate the energy out, because SF is the energy out. So energy out equals to energy in minus energy change. Okay, so we calculate the energy in dulu. We have 2 moles of fluorine molecule. So FF is equal to 160 times 2 sebab kita ada 2 molecules. So energy in is 320. Okay, energy in is 320 kilojoule per mole. Alright, 320 minus the energy change for this reaction is 780. Okay, 780. And it is negative because it is an exothermic reaction. So it's negative. Okay, 320 minus negative 780 is 1100 kilojoule per mole. Okay, 1100 kilojoule per mole is the total energy out. Okay, total energy out is 1100 kilojoule. We are asked to calculate for one SF bond. Untuk satu SF bond, we need to divide 1100 kilojoule per mole, divide it by 4 because we have 4 SF bond. Okay, so the answer is 275 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so the SF bond is 275 kilojoule per mole. All right. So energy from fuel. Okay, the burning of fuel release heat energy. Kalau ini adalah proses oxidation. Okay, because it react with oxygen. Okay, any substance that are used to provide energy is named as fuel. Okay, fuels are burned to convert chemical energy to heat energy. Alright, and now we are using fossil fuel. Sekarang ni kita banyak guna fossil fuel used around the world. Okay, examples are coal, petroleum, natural gas. Okay, that are burns in power station or factories or engine. Dalam engine kereta kita guna petrol. Okay, and then but it is non-renewable. Okay, it can cause pollution. So to overcome this problem, scientists introduce new types of fuel. So they introduce new types of fuels is introduced to reduce the effect of global warming, especially the production of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Okay, now ethanol can be made from any plant's material. So scientists believe that ethanol can be easily gained, okay, because it can be produced from the plant's material through the process of fermentation. Okay, and then hydrogen is another types of fuels that were introduced by the scientists. Okay, when hydrogen burns explosively in oxygen, giving out a lot of heat energy. Okay, so hydrogen is used in a fuel cell. So this is how the hydrogen fuel cell look like. Okay, it has a negative and positive poles. Okay, this one is a negative poles and this one is a positive poles. Alright, so these are the reaction occur in the positive poles, which is known as anode, and at cathode. Okay, so this is how the hydrogen fuel cell look like. Okay, so now what happened is hydrogen. This is anode. Anode is a negative terminal, and this one is cathode, the positive terminal. Okay, at the negative poles, so here we have the electrode here, okay, the carbon electrode, okay, carbon electrode. Okay, we have the electrolyte here. Normally the electrolyte used is potassium hydroxide, so we have the hydroxide ion inside here. Okay, so hydrogen ion will enter the cell, okay, hydrogen gas, okay, hydrogen gas enter the cell and will be split into with the help of the catalyst, which is the platinum. Normally we use platinum as catalyst. Hydrogen will split into hydrogen ion and electron. Okay, so hydrogen ion and electron. So electron, as we know, electron cannot move in the electrolyte. So what happened to the electron is electron will be released. Okay, electron is released at anode. Okay, tengok anode tu release electron keluar. And then this hydrogen ion will fuse, okay, diffuse and enter the electrolyte, okay, and react with the hydroxide ion. Okay, hydrogen ion will react with the hydroxide ion to form water molecules. Okay. Alright. So the hydrogen gas react with the hydroxide to form water molecules by releasing electron out. That electron will be received at cathode. Okay, that electron will be received at cathode by oxygen. Okay, the oxygen from cathode. Okay, dekat cathode tu kita masukkan oxygen. That oxygen will react with the water. Okay, the water will be formed inside here. Okay, this water molecule will together with the oxygen, we receive that electron to form hydroxide ion. So, the hydroxide ion yang hilang tadi sebab react with the hydrogen akan diproduce semula. So, the process continue on. Okay. So, let's look at the overall equation. Okay, kita tengok overall equation will be. Okay, so kita potong hydroxide ion, and then potong electron. And then we have this one pun kita potong 2 molecule of water, kita potong 2 molecule of water, tinggal 2. So we rewrite the reactants hydrogen ion react with oxygen gas, hydrogen gas react with oxygen gas to produce 2H2O. So this is the process occur in the hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, advantages of hydrogen fuel cell: does not pollute the environment, can produce 2.5 times higher energy compared to fossil fuel, and it is renewable, but it is very flammable. Okay, and then nuclear fuel. This is another type of fuels. When the atom, the unstable radioisotope atom, break down naturally or forced by shooting neutrons at them, they will produce a lot of radioactive to generate electricity. Okay, dia akan produce a lot of heat energy out. Okay, to make steam. Steam tu akan drive the turbines to generate electricity. And the widely used nuclear is uranium-235. Okay. So the advantage ialah it gives out a huge amount of energy and not polluting the environment. But once it explodes, okay, the radioactive material akan spread through a huge area. Okay. And the waste material which is radioactive akan bertahan selama beratus-ratus tahun. Dan dia susah untuk disimpan, right? That is the end of our overview today. So let's look at the exercise. Let's understand better. Maksudnya kita perlu buat latihan yang banyak. Alright. So we go to the first question. Okay, the first question here is the multiple choice question, paper 2. Okay, paper 2. So okay, jap. Okay, so we have the chemical cell here. Which metal produce smallest voltage reading? Smallest maksudnya Allah Akbar. Smallest maksudnya you must choose the metal P which is the closer to copper in the reactivity series. Okay, the one closer to or nearer to the copper. Okay, sebab makin besar beza reactivity, semakin tinggi voltage. Kita perlu pilih yang paling dekat. So yang paling dekat dengan copper here is iron. Okay, so it's the iron. Alright, next question. Half equation for the reaction that occur at cathode when molten lead to bromide is electrolyte. Ini kita dah belajar tadi. Molten lead to bromide produce the lead ion and bromide ion in if it is heated, it will ionize to form. This is the cations, this is the anion. Soalan tu nak at cathode. So what happened at cathode is the process of receiving electron. What receive electron is the cation because cation will attract to cathode. So what happened is the lead ion Okay, since it is a cathode, terima electron, so receive 2 electron to form lead metal. Okay, so that is the process at cathode. Alright, the answer is A. Okay, number 3, the apparatus used for the extraction of aluminium oxide. Soalan ni sangat banyak keluar, selalu keluar. Aluminium oxide is bauxite. Okay, we have the aluminium ion and the oxide ion. So, oxide ion adalah anions. This one is cation. So, cation will get attracted to the cathode. Okay, and the anions, the oxide ion will get attracted to anode. Okay, this is anode. And this is cathode. So, dia nak add anode. Pada anode ialah oxide ion. Okay, so oxide ion will go to anode. So, what happened to the oxide ion is a process of releasing electron. Okay, yang berlaku di anode ialah release electron. So, oxide ion release electron to form oxygen gas. Okay, release electron to form oxygen gas. 2 molecules, 2 mole. So, we have 2 oxide ion. We release 4 electron, sorry. Okay, so the answer is B. Okay, next, number 4, which rows correctly shows cathode and anode products from the electrolysis of the named electrolyte? Okay, for this type of question, you need to try all the answer here. Okay, so the first one is copper sulfate. Copper sulfate. Okay, copper sulfate consists of copper ion and sulfate ion. We also have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion from the water molecules. So these are cations, these are anions. Okay, so these 2 ions will be attracted to cathode. These 2 ions will be attracted to anode. Okay, now we are using copper as electrode. So, of course, no anion will be discharged at anode. Okay, no anion will be discharged at anode because the copper itself. Okay, so no oxygen produced at anode. Copper itself will release electron to form copper metal. Itself will release electron to form copper ion. Okay, this is what happened at anode if we use copper electrode. Okay, at cathode, we have the hydrogen ion and copper ion. So the one that will be discharged is the copper ion. Okay, copper ion, since it is cathode, so it is a process of receiving electron to form copper metal. Okay, so this one is correct. Okay, but this is not the answer because N is wrong. Okay, and then the second bromide. Okay, lead bromide. Okay, this one is direct. Kita dah jawab tadi, the product at cathode is lead, betul. And the product at anode ialah bromine. Alright, this one is correct. Dilute we have sodium bromide solution. Okay, sodium ion and bromide ion. Okay, so cation will be attracted to cathode. We have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion here. Okay, so cation akan bergerak ke cathode and the one that will be discharged is the hydrogen ion. Betul. At anode, the one that will be discharged is hydroxide because it is dilute. So will form oxygen gas. Betul. And then copper sulfate solution using carbon electrode. So using carbon electrode, it is correct. Oxygen is produced at anode. Okay, but the product at cathode should be copper. So this one is not the answer. Okay, the answer is C, 2 and 3. Okay, number 4, energy level. Okay, the statement is this exotomic reaction because the energy level in the product is lower. Okay, less energy than in the reactant. So the answer is D. Okay, methane burns in excess oxygen. This one is a calculation. Okay, so calculate all the energy in. Energy in adalah for the breaking of bond. And ni adalah energy out. Okay. Energy out ialah for formation of bond. So kita calculate semua. CH4, CH4, and we have OO. There are 2 molecules of oxygen gas. Okay, so 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 CH bond. Okay, 4 times 4, 1, 0. Okay, and then we have 2 oxygen molecule. Okay, 2 darab 4, 9, 6. Okay, so we have 1640 plus 992 equals to 2632. So this is the amount of energy in. Okay, the total amount of energy in. And then we calculate the energy out. Okay, for carbon and oxygen. Okay, carbon, 1 molecule of carbon dioxide and 2 molecule of water. 2 molecule of air. Alright. So for carbon dioxide, we have 1, 2 of CO bonds. So 2 times 805 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 of the OH bond. Okay. So 4 times 460. Okay. So the answer is 1610 plus 1840. Give the total of 3450. So this is the total energy out. So to calculate the energy change is energy in minus energy out. Energy in minus energy out. So the answer is negative 818 kilojoule per mole. So that is the answer. Okay, and then this is another example. This one is direct, just minus 3422. The answer is 92. Okay, and then this is another one. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 times CH ialah 410. Okay, 410. And then we have 1 CC bonds 610. Okay, 614. Okay, this one is 1640. And then the HH bond is 436, and the total is 2810. And for the energy out, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CH bond. So 410 times 6 is 2460. And we have 1 CC bonds, 350, and the total is 2810. So 26, this one is 2690. Okay, so 2690 minus 2810 is equals to negative 120. Okay, so the half equation in fuel cell is hydrogen react with oxygen to produce water molecules. All right, next. Okay, so this one is paper 4. Okay, paper 4, the structured question. A student carries out an electrolysis experiment using the apparatus shown. Okay, we have the carbon electrode. Okay, we have dilute aqueous sodium chloride. Okay, so there's no factor of concentration, no factor of types of electrode. The only factor that affect here is the the position in the reactivity series. All right, and the positive terminal is anode, and this one is cathode. And we have the sodium ion and chloride ion, and sodium ion, chloride ion. We also have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Alright, state the name given to any solution which undergoes electrolysis. Okay, so the solution that can undergo electrolysis is named as electrolyte. Okay, electrolyte. Hydroxide ion are discharged at anode. Okay, tengok anode where the electron is released. Okay, at anode hydroxide is discharged. Okay, hydroxide discharged to form water and oxygen gas. Okay, and balance the equation. 2 here is 4 and 4 electron. Okay, so balance of charge 1 mark and rest of equation another mark. Okay, so if your equation is balanced, then you get 1 mark already. Okay, and then explain how the ionic half equation shows the hydroxide ion are being oxidized. Daripada equation ni, macam mana awak tahu dia adalah proses oxidation, being oxidized? So, ingat oil. Okay, oxidation is loss. So, from the equation, we know the electron is released. Means, oxidation occur here. Okay, macam mana kita tahu dia occur? Because hydroxide ion lost electron. Okay. Hydroxide ion lost electron. And then let's describe what the student observe at cathode. Okay, kita tengok cathode pula. Cathode kita ada sodium ion and hydrogen ion. The one that will be discharged at cathode is hydrogen ion by receiving electron. Sebab di cathode, so mesti receive electron to form hydrogen gas. So 2 mole of hydrogen ion produce 1 mole of hydrogen molecule by receiving 2 electron. So kita akan nampak ada bubbles of gas produced. So describe what is observed. So the answer is bubbles of colorless gas release ataupun form, ataupun you can just put fizzing. That's what we observe. Okay, fizzing. Write ionic half equation for the reaction is this one. Okay, 2H plus receive electron at cathode is a process of receiving electron to form hydrogen gas. Alright, next. The student repeat the experiment using concentrated aqueous sodium chloride solution. Now, the factor of concentration take part. Okay, so sekarang kita guna concentrated and we know that sodium chloride is a halide solution. So, kita akan tengok perubahan produk yang berlaku di anode. Okay, so what happened is sodium ion and hydrogen ion adalah cations. Cation will be attracted to cathode and the one that will be discharged is still hydrogen ion. Okay, still hydrogen ion because it is lower. Faktor concentration tidak mempengaruhi cathode. Okay, and at anode, okay, at anode we have chloride and hydroxide. And here we use concentrated halide solution. So, we know that if the factor of concentration take part, the one that will be discharged is the halide ion because it is more concentrated. So what happened at anode is chloride ion release electron to form chlorine atom, which is then form a chlorine molecules by releasing 2 electron. Okay. So what is observed at cathode? Okay, what is observed at cathode is still the same, iaitu fizzing ataupun produce bubbles of gas, colorless gas form. And then at anode, what happened at anode? The product here is chlorine gas. So the product is greenish yellow gas form. Okay. The color of chlorine gas is greenish yellow. So what can be seen at the anode is the greenish yellow gas form. Ataupun tulis the greenish yellow gas. Alright, for number 2, the student added litmus to the solution after electrolysis of concentrated aqueous sodium chloride. Okay, kalau kita dah electrolysis dah habis, so hydrogen ion dah jadi hydrogen gas, chloride ion dah jadi chlorine gas. So what left in the solution are sodium ion and hydroxide ion. It will form sodium hydroxide, which is an alkaline solution. So when we put the litmus in, okay, after the electrolysis, what happened to the litmus solution? Okay, so the litmus solution turns blue. Okay, litmus solution turns blue. Okay, this shows that the aqueous solution is alkaline. Okay, so the reason why is because sodium hydroxide is formed. Okay, because sodium hydroxide is formed. And then carbon electrode are used because they are inert. State another element that can be used instead of carbon. So the answer is platinum. Okay. Selain daripada carbon, kita juga boleh guna platinum. Right. Next, name the ore of aluminium, which mainly consists of aluminium oxide. So the ore of aluminium is named as bauxite. Okay, bauxite. And then give 2 reasons why the electrolysis is done using molten mixture of aluminium oxide with chloride. Kenapa kena masukkan chloride? Is to lower the melting point or operating point. Point is temperature. Right? Or the melting point of bauxite. And then another reason is to improve conductivity. Okay, because it lowered down the melting point, so the bauxite dissolve in the chloride and become ions. So it will improve conductivity of the ions. Okay, so write ionic half equation at the positive terminal. Positive terminal is anode, negative terminal is cathode. Okay, so what happened at positive terminal anode is a process of releasing electron. So what release electron at anode is oxide ion release electron to form water and oxygen. Okay, so this is the half equation. Okay, ionic half equation at anode. And then at cathode, we have the aluminium ion, which is the cation, receive electron to form aluminium atom. Alright, the anodes are made of carbon and have to be replaced regularly. Kenapa kena replace regularly? It's because the carbon anode, we react with the oxygen. This one is 1 mark. Okay, to react with oxygen, 1 markah, to produce carbon dioxide. Another mark. Okay, carbon react with oxygen 1 markah to produce carbon dioxide 1 markah. So 2 marks. Alright, next is the hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, this is the hydrogen fuel cell. Name the process by which oxygen is obtained from the air. Okay, untuk dapatkan oksigen di udara, we can get it from fractional distillation. Because gas in the air have different boiling point, so they can be separated using fractional distillation. Okay, next. Okay, in a hydrogen fuel cell, the hydrogen molecules are converted into hydrogen ion according to the ionic half equation shown below. Okay, so hydrogen will split into proton and electron. Okay, the hydrogen ion dan electron. Electron dikeluarkan ke atas dan hydrogen akan diffuse into the electrolyte. Okay, so what type of reaction occur? Hydrogen jadi hydrogen ion, membuang electron. So it is an oxidation process. Okay, oxidation reaction because oxidation is loss, because loss of electron. Okay, what type of substance react by donating hydrogen ion? Apakah bahan yang bila dia react dia boleh donate hydrogen ion? So the answer is acid. Okay, acid kalau react boleh donate hydrogen ion. Okay, write a chemical equation for the overall reaction that occurs in hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, so hydrogen react with oxygen to form water molecules. And then we balance the equation. We have 2 mole of oxygen and 2. So this is the overall reaction for the hydrogen fuel cell. Hydrogen fuel cells are being developed as alternative to petrol engine in car. Okay, one advantage of hydrogen fuel cell compared to petrol engine. Okay, kebaikan dia berbanding dengan petrol ialah dia tidak menghasilkan carbon dioxide. Okay, no carbon dioxide produced. Okay, no carbon dioxide produced. That is the advantage. Okay, and it is more efficient. Alright, disadvantage ialah the storage. Okay, susah untuk simpan. Sebab apa susah untuk simpan? Sebab hidrogen adalah sangat bahaya. Dia boleh react dengan oksigen. Okay, storage of hydrogen is difficult. Satu lagi sebab, okay, you can answer this one also, lack of availability. Susah nak dapat. Alright. So that is the answer. Kenapa kita guna, kenapa hydrogen fuel cell tu kurang efficient is because it is hard to keep. Okay, susah nak simpan, susah nak store. Okay, this question is about compound of nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen react with lithium to form lithium nitride. So write the chemical equation for the reaction between lithium and nitrogen. Okay, lithium is a metal of group 1. Nitrogen is a non-metal in group 5. Okay, group 5, group 1. Okay, so group 1 means it has 1 valence electron. Lithium, 1 positive. And nitrogen is in group 5, means it has 5 valence electron. Kalau dia 5 valence electron, it need 3 electron. It need to receive 3 electron. So this is the formula. Lithium, 1 positive. That's why the formula is Li3N. Li3N. Okay, and then it is a reaction between lithium atom with nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas is N2. Okay, N2. And then we balance the equation. Nitrogen ada 2. Okay, so now lithium is 6. Okay, lithium adalah 6. So, alright. So, 2 markah The first mark is N2. Yang ni betul, dapat 1 mark. And then the rest of equation betul, dapat another mark. Alright. And then for lithium nitride is ionically bond. Because lithium is a metal, nitrogen is non-metal. So, they will react by transferring electron. Lithium release electron, nitrogen receive electron. Okay, complete the diagram. Okay, nitrogen pada asalnya ialah N 2.5. Okay, so 2.5. 3, 4, 5. Okay, it is not stable. It does not achieve stable electron arrangement. So what happened is it will receive 3 electron from outside. Okay, from lithium. So once it receives electron, it becomes 2.8. But now it is not neutral. The charge is 3 negative. Okay, 1 mark for the new octet. Okay, the new octet ni dengan elektron 8, 1 markah. The charge 1 mark. Okay, 1 mark given for the. Okay, now another example of calculation here. So energy taking in is for the reactants N3 945 tambah dengan 3 FF darab 3. Okay. 3 times 160. Alright, the answer is 1425. Alright, and the energy release, the energy in the reactants are, we have 1, 2, 3 NF bonds. 300. Okay, 300 times 3 times 2. Why 2? Because we have 2 molecules of NF3. So the answer is 1800. Okay, so the energy change is energy in minus energy out. So the answer is negative 375 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so you have 3 marks here. Okay, by looking at this result, okay, deduce whether the reaction is endo or exo. Obviously, it is an exothermic reaction because the energy release is more compared to the energy absorbed. Okay, so now this one is paper 6. Okay, paper 6. Okay, so metal ring, this one is a process of electroplating. Metal ring can be coated with a layer of copper using electrolysis. Plan an experiment to electroplate a small metal ring with copper. Okay, you are provided with common lab apparatus. You are given the copper rod and then copper sulfate crystal, water, and small metal ring. Okay, small metal ring. Kita nak coat the metal ring with copper. Alright. So draw a diagram so that it's easier for you to explain. Okay, to explain in outline. Okay, first, this is the copper electrode. The coating metal must be put as anode. Ingat syarat-syarat dia. Yang kita nak coat di luar mesti anode. And the ring, the one that we want to coat, will be placed as cathode. This is a positive terminal. Negative terminal. And then we have the electrolyte. Okay, so the electrolyte is the copper sulfate crystal and water. Means you need to dissolve the copper sulfate in water first. Okay, sebab dia mesti dalam bentuk solution or molten. Alright, so what happened is the copper metal release electron to form the copper ions. Okay, so the first mark is you must clean the metal ring. Clean the metal ring with sandpaper. So this one is the first mark, and then the second mark, you need to dissolve. This one pun you kena explain dissolve the copper 2 sulfate in water in a beaker. And then number 3, okay, number 3, set up the circuit. Okay, ataupun switch on, ataupun complete the circuit. And then number 4, okay, number 4 is what is set as anode, what is set as cathode. So copper rod is set as anode and metal ring as cathode. Okay, and then number 5, rotate. Okay, rotate the metal ring. Okay, for the process of electroplating, it's very important for us to rotate so that the electroplating will be event. And then last kali is to remove the metal ring. So you remove, you wash and dry. Now we get the electroplated metal ring. Okay, so each step 1 mark. Okay, so you need to draw the diagram so that it's easier for you to explain. Okay, so total mark ialah 6 marks. Alright, so that's it. Dah habis dah latihan dan ni. Kita dah exit masa sikit. Tapi kita bersyukur. Syukur Alhamdulillah kita telah berjaya sampai ke penghujung. Okay, dan awak stay bersama. Semoga apa yang dikongsi tadi bermanfaat kepada semua. Okay, so terima kasihlah sebab menumpukan perhatian. Okay, stay focus until the end. Okay, so cikgu doakan awak semua mendapat A stars untuk semua subjek IGCSE, especially chemistry. Okay, A stars for chemistry and all lah. So, last kali, jaga diri, jaga makan, tidur cukup. Okay, supaya kesihatan awak sentiasa berada pada tahap yang terbaik. Okay, so jaga kesihatan semua. Thank you very much. Good luck for your mock IGCSE. Tak lama lagi, on the 6th of September. Okay, so Assalamualaikum.
Alhamdulillah, banyak ilmu dan tips yang telah dikongsikan oleh Cikgu Fatmawati sepanjang 2 jam kita bersama pada hari ini. Moga ilmu yang disampaikan dapat membantu semua pelajar dalam peperiksaan mock IGCSE September ini serta IGCSE Oktober nanti. Semoga majlis kita diberkati insya-Allah. Sebelum majlis bersurai, sukalah saya untuk mengingatkan kepada semua pelajar untuk mengisi link kehadiran dengan mengimbas QR code yang dipaparkan pada skrin. Link kehadiran juga akan dikongsi di ruangan Q&A dan akan dibuka sehingga jam 1 tengah hari. Dengan mengisi borang kehadiran, para pelajar akan mendapat pautan link bagi skema jawapan kepada latihan dalam webinar ini. Sebelum majlis mengundur diri, kita tutup majlis kita dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah Tu'as. Assalamualaikum dan semoga berjumpa lagi.